So unless I know exactly what question to ask and why it is vital to my existence, to my being, to my growing, I should stop from asking questions. I should refrain from asking questions. They have no meaning, you see. So Babuji said, please ask questions pertaining to sadhana and nothing else. How should I meditate? Well, it's a good question. Am I making progress? Stupid question. Why? Because being with the Master, how can you not make progress? You know, for instance, we are on this globe and we are rotating at such a vast speed. I don't know how much it is, 23,000 miles per hour or something. But we are not feeling the moment. Suppose suddenly somebody woke up.
Our journey brought us to the foothills of the Himalayas now, to a small place called Kicha. The intensity of nature here and the closeness of the mountains created some sort of a fresh excitement in us.
The Himalayas have represented to the Indian spirit what you can call the summum bonum of spirituality. The highest ever visible symbol of the soaring Indian spirit.
He told me personally.
Especially Swami Vivekananda has referred to this again and again in his writings, in his lectures, that from the dawn of time, the spiritual seeking aspirant has always gone north to the Himalayas. Most of them disappeared, they never came back. This is not like the mountaineer who tries to climb the Everest and disappears. There he dies. Here they don't come back. They just go there and they are lost. They sit somewhere, meditate, achieve their goal, I hope, and it's finished. So you see, the Himalayas are a representation of all that I would say or call the ultimate in Indian spiritual values. Therefore, we call the call of the Himalayas as the eternal call.
Even though the Himalayas are like an eternal ashram themselves, we all share this dream of an ashram in the mountains, including Master himself.
I'm telling them there's some land in near Aniket, you see, from where you get the entire Himalayan range view. Cost about 25 lakhs. I said, if I say the Himalayan view on mountains, Europeans like crazy, they will give donations.
There were several proposals, different plots, that have been selected by local Abhyasis, all between Nainital and Pithoraga.
Isolated view.
The flawless values represented by the Himalayas are something unique and permanent. Unlike the UP, birthplace of so many great saints, which has been corrupted over time by human beings.
You see, the funny thing is, great things have happened to you, but now it has become a criminal state. Full of criminals. Every 300 yards there's a criminal now. Whereas old days, all the rishis and everything was all in. I don't know how this inverted was come.
I'm not saying that the mountains are spiritual. Please don't make the mistake. Because the mountains are what they are, mountains. The home of snow, the temple of snow. That's what Himalaya means. But for the spiritual seeker, it has been the symbol of aspiration. The immensity of the mountains shows the immensity that we have to achieve. So you see, there is no room for what you call friendship in spirituality. He is the only friend. The friendship is only with the friend. Other than him, if you have friends, you are lost. See, the way to hell is full of company. But the way up, you can walk only alone, and later on, not even alone, but only in him, when you have ceased to exist.
Human beings have always adored and honored the beauty and strength of nature. Why is it that today it seems that the respect has been replaced by some sort of artificial romanticism?
I think maybe there is a sense in us which says you are destroying it, you will not see it again, and therefore we love it so much. It is at the moment of separation that one really understands love. So when we are going to lose something, we value it a lot. Our power to destroy is much more today, unimaginably more than it has ever been in the history of mankind. Somebody asked my master how to create world peace. He said, unless you create peace within yourself, you can create no peace outside yourself. How to love God. Unless you love God, you cannot tell others how to love God. So you see, even if you want to change the world, and there are people here, I am sure, who want to change everything, they forget that you cannot start outside, you have to start with yourself. I cannot educate this world unless I have educated myself first, and I can talk sensibly to a few people at least and pass on what I have learned to them. It is always a transmission. So everything must begin with the self. He who wants to change the world must first change himself. He who wants to divinize the world must first divinize himself. He who wants to educate the world must educate himself. So in spirituality, we don't think of the outside world, we don't think of changing the political scene in this country or the economic scene in this country or the industrial scene in this country. We have no problems with the environment. They will change only when we change. Because everything that was God given, our rivers, our forests, the sweet air that we had to breathe, they have been polluted by us, destroyed by us, corrupted by us. The remedy is in us. Nature is strong but not so powerful, it takes time. For nature to heal wounds, it takes time. Of course, if the human being stops there, the forest will be there in 50 years again. But we are going on continuously. That is why. And we know we are destroying nature. Now, what is this moment of terror, you see? Scientifically, if you look at it, all this chaos, the primordial chaos at the beginning of time,
everything's torn apart, the Big Bang, meteorites. I read somewhere that is the first billionth of 1 trillionth of a second, universe started expanding. Can you imagine time? First 1 billionth of 1 trillionth of 1 second. That is probably 10 to the power of 60 or something of a second. So how quickly this chaos came into being from that unity which was a single entity at peace, at rest in eternal calm. Now what brought about this chaos? Babaji Maharaj says, show. What was this show? And some movement within itself. What was that movement? Babaji said, when the first mind had the first thought, I am, it separated itself from the reality, the originality, the unity of all existence. And the moment that separation occurred was a moment of great, utter terror. Moment of separations are moments of terror. And when we separated ourselves from that original home, I am, this I was the thing, you see, that created this universe. Often I think to say that God created this universe is not necessarily correct. Why should God create the universe? That is why perhaps we are not able to explain this, why God created this universe. But I think it was the separation of the original mind which said, you are, I am, that created this universe. Because Babaji said that was the first bit of grossness. There, when we separated ourselves from our Divine Father and said, I am, I started falling. Here, when we develop from simplicity towards spiritual perfection and we say, I did, we start falling. So there the fall from the highest down here was because he said, I am. The moment he said, I am separated from the infinity, from the divinity that was my source. Here I did separates me, creates a new ego, and that ego gets bloated more and more if you allow it to get bloated. And then we say, I did everything. I can do everything. What do I need God for anymore? Please do it. Come to me when you think you are finished with this. He can wait because he is eternity. He is the master of time. Do we have the time? Because the only sure thing in life is death, and it is waiting here. And with every moment, we are losing another precious second of our life. Everything else can be bought. Time cannot be bought. Even God cannot give you time. Because God does not know what is time. If you go and ask God, please give me some more time, He will say, what is time? For Him there is no time, there is no age. He will be puzzled, you see. He will say, ये क्या चीज़ है? बेवकूफ लोग मांगते हैं हमसे, वक्त हमें दो. वक्त क्या है? We have to have time. And if you waste your time in all these stupidities, narrow-mindedness, cultural blindness, spiritual blindness, closed heart, if your heart is closed, even God cannot help you. Because it is your heart, God says, I want lovers. I don't want prisoners. I don't want to drag them in chains to my Sannidhan, you see, and say, stay here, damn fools.